Welcome. So if you watched my PSA submission video at the end of March, you likely already know exactly what is going to be happening here. I'm going to reveal these cards and go through the PSA grades with you. Now, one thing that I really want to preface by saying is that I have not seen these grades yet. Fortunately, I live in San Diego, so the California PSA grading facility is right up the road, and it only takes about 2 days for everything to get here. But unfortunately, it was the weekend, so it took a little bit longer than that. But these shipped out to me, I believe, first thing Friday morning. It's Monday morning right now. Let's jump into it and take a look at the grade. I don't know these grades at all, so this is going to be as much a surprise for me as it is for you. This is the Cade Cunningham Sky's the Limit insert from his rookie year. This is a card that I had my eye on for a while. It was selling in like the $50 to $100 range for a long time. Then as Cade's market started to pull back, it started to drop a little bit. It's fairly short printed. It's one of the more short printed inserts from that year of Recon, and I just think that it's a fantastic looking design. So it's not rare to the point where you can't find it, but it is fairly short printed. I ended up, I think, getting this for around $20 or $25 plus the grading fee, and the grade is a PSA 10. All right, we are on the board. So this is Asar Thompson. This is from 2021 Topps Chrome OTE. So the OTE league that started up a couple years ago actually made a couple basketball products. They made a Topps Chrome product, and then they made a different product as well. This is actually Asar Thompson's first ever on-card autograph. This is the Aqua numbered to, I believe, 99. And this is his first ever on-card autograph from this set. It's on a chrome card. So, in my opinion, this is the kind of card that will long-term be one of the kind of benchmarks of a player collector's cards. And it's interesting that this was before a lot of the Bowman basketball stuff started happening, a year or two before that, but at the same time, it's kind of that same pedigree. And it also has the rookie card, RC, right over there. This got a PSA 10. Okay, I absolutely love that. That is fantastic. I was not sure whether or not that would jam. This is the Cade Cunningham Optic Holo. This is kind of one of the standard benchmark cards for a player collector. Not extremely short printed, but rare enough that it can be valuable. And this is a PSA 6. That's unexpected. Well, I guess we have our first question mark there. I'll look this over a little bit closer. If you know why this got a PSA 6, looks like there might be something right over here. I mean, a crease will automatically give it a 6. I think I would have seen that, but it does look like there's a fingernail or a crease right over here, so I would say that's fair. At the end of the day, I'll auction this. It'll get $15 on eBay. I'm not too worried about it. Next up, so from the same set, the Asar Thompson Aqua, there were two different ones. There was the CAATH2 and then the CAATH1. So there are two different variations of it. So I actually got both of these, and some guy was selling both of them, and I think he had them listed for $180, and I paid $140 for both of them. So I already got a PSA 10 on one, and this one got a PSA 9. And this is kind of the result that I was expecting, because in my head I was basically like, I'll keep the PSA 10 and I'll sell the PSA 9, and that will likely at least pay for some of my cost into it. And from there, then I'll have the PSA 10 for my collection. So let's put the PSA 6 over here. Next up, you've probably heard me talk about this card before. This is the Rookies insert from Donruss Optic. This is the Holo. It's a lot more short printed than the Optic Holo, although generally this is the more desirable card, the Optic Holo is. But from the Rookies insert set, this is a PSA 8. There's a little dimple. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little dimple over here which might downgrade it to an 8. Well, if you send in one Optic Holo, why not send in 2? And this one got a PSA 10. There we go. So that balances out across the PSA 6. 2021 Prism, this is the Hyper. So Hypers are only in hobby boxes. So these are actually extremely short printed compared to like the regular silver Prism, which again is kind of like the Optic Holo over there is like one of the flagship cards for a player, but this is actually much more short printed than the regular Prism Silver. So I ended up getting this one. I think I got it on an auction for pretty low, maybe like in the 20 to 40 range. And this got a PSA 10. I am very happy with this. Long term, I think population reports are going to be a huge part of collectability, as people realize cards like this have significantly higher population reports than cards like this, because you can pull this out of any Optic pack, the same way you can pull a Prism Silver out of any Prism pack, even the most basic retail $10, $15 pack. These you can only pull from high-end hobby boxes, which nowadays go for like $800. So the fact that this is much more short printed, I think long term is going to add a lot to the value, although I think right now the silvers do outsell the Hypers. Now, this is a card that on sending it in, I thought it looked good, but I looked at the scans. I haven't seen the grade on it, but I did look at the scans, and I noticed that before the grades popped, and I noticed that it seemed like there was some issues on it. Just a lot of surface issues. Now, it may have just been the scan, but because of that, originally I thought this was going to get a 9. Generally, Contenders is a tough grade, but I really think this might be in the 7 to 8 range. I think if I get an 8, I'll be okay. If I get higher than that, I'll be feeling pretty good. So let's see. And that's just because I saw a lot of surface issues on the pre-grading scan from PSA. And this got a PSA 9. Okay, wow. You've heard me mention this before. I think I explained it in the preview video. This is another really short printed insert. This is the Select Future insert. And these are really, really short printed. This is the silver version. So the non-silvers are short printed. The silvers are even more short printed. If you were to go on eBay and type this card in for really any player that's in the subset, generally speaking, for the silvers, there's only going to be a few listed at a time and a couple solds. These are extremely short printed. Generally, they seem to have centering issues. Usually they're off-center. I know a lot of the Cade ones that I've seen are off-center, and I think that maybe it's a little bit better in 2022, but this is the Jalen Duren Select Future Silver rookie card, and this got a PSA 9. This is a 2012 Topps Chrome Patrick Willis Black Refractor. This is numbered to 299, and I have a friend who's a 49ers fan, so this will likely be a present for them if it gems. If not, I'll just sell it. But this got a PSA 9. Okay. JJ Watt, 2011 Topps Chrome. This is just a base card. I got it for like $1 in a dollar box or something like that. But these in a PSA 10 sell for, I think, $50 or $60. I have no real attachment to this. I'll probably just sell this right away, run it at an auction. This got a PSA 9. This is Jalen Duren Optic Holo. This is the rookie card. Same as the Cade over there, but for Jalen Duren rather than for Cade, this got a PSA 9. This is a Tom Brady 2006 Topps Chrome Own the Game insert. I believe I got this for just a couple of bucks in a dollar box at a store or maybe a show. I don't expect this to get a PSA 10. If it's a PSA 10, it's a pretty valuable card, even though it's an insert. It's just an early Topps Chrome insert from Brady, so that would be pretty valuable, but I really don't expect it to get that, and this got a PSA 10. Wow. Wow. I don't actually know what the comps on that are. Give me a second. So it looks like at auction it averages around 75 to 100. There is a recent sale for 150, but then it went right back down to 75, so I would say this is around a $75 card. But happy to have this, no complaints. Next up, Alperen Şengün, Baby Jokic, great young center for the Houston Rockets. This is the premier level silver from Select, rookie card. I had this, I think I again found this at a box at a store for just a couple bucks. didn't seem to make sense that it was there. And now that he seems to be really developing as people kind of projected him to, thought I might as well include it in the submission. This got a PSA 8. Cade Cunningham, this is the Silver Prism. This is the one that I was comparing to the Hyper over there, how this is going to be a lot, like even in a PSA 10 grade, is going to have a much higher population report because you can pull it from any Prism product, whereas that is from the hobby box. This got a PSA 9. This is a 2002 Tom Brady Ring of Honor. This is celebrating his first Super Bowl MVP. There is a refractor version of this that I think is numbered to 100 that's extremely valuable. Like, I think even low grade or mid grade is a couple $1,000. But this one is just the base version. A lot of these have pretty bad centering issues. This one I thought was fairly well centered, and it got a PSA 10. So this one I'm really happy with. I've actually had this before, but it was in a consignment order, and I ended up selling it just to pay for some of the other cards I was consigning. This is a card that I actually do want to keep. I think it's kind of a core card of an early Brady collection, just because it's 2002 Topps Chrome, so it is the chromium card. It does have the Ring of Honor celebrating the MVP from his first Super Bowl MVP. Great card. Happy to have this in a PSA 10. I think comps on this are like in the 150 to 250 range. Okay, so this is a Prism Blue for Jalen Duren. It's numbered out of 199. So this True Blue Prism for Jalen Duren out of 199 got a PSA 10. Oh, wow, yes. I am very happy with that. That is amazing. A nice color match for the Pistons. True Blue Prism out of 199. And this is why you send your stuff in, because realistically, you're not going to get a PSA 10 every single time. But when you do, it really does make sense. This is the Asar Thompson Works in Progress. This is the Ruby out of 149. This is one of my favorite insert sets from Court Kings. Just every year they kind of nail it. This is actually not necessarily my favorite design, but of the set, they've had better years. But this is a Asar Thompson, rookie for the Pistons this year, and this got a PSA 10. That is fantastic. I already have I believe the Jalen Duren out of 49, which actually I think is going to be coming up next. And I have the Cade out of 149. So just really like the set. Wanted to get a number 1 in a PSA 10 of different Pistons players. Happy to have that. So here's the Jalen Duren. So you can see like how much better the 2022 version looks than the 2023 version, in my opinion. But this is the Jalen Duren for the Pistons, numbered out of 49, works in progress, and this got a PSA 10. Oh, that's amazing. That's out of 49, PSA 10. Love that. Cade Cunningham, this is the Fast Break Blue from Optic. This is numbered out of 50. 49 out of 50. Nice color match. Cade Cunningham rookie, and this got a PSA 8. Still a pretty valuable card, but definitely would have loved for this to get a PSA 9 or really a PSA 10, but you could say that about any card. So, and then last up, if you've seen some of my previous videos, I actually have the Topps Chrome X Fractors of all 5 players of the Pistons starting 5 from their 2003-2004 championship team. So I have the PSA 9 of Rasheed Wallace, of Tayshaun Prince, of Chauncey Billups, and of Rip Hamilton. And I have Topps Chrome Black out of 500 of Ben Wallace as a PSA 9 as well. So I ended up seeing the X Fractor out of 220 for Ben Wallace on auction and was able to grab it. A lot of them are really off-center. 2003 Topps Chrome is known to have a lot of centering issues, so finding one that actually had good centering, I mean, these don't even go up for auction all that often, but finding one that actually had good centering was also a big part of the puzzle. This one I finally thought at least had an outside shot at a 10. I'm assuming it's going to get a 9. It's like, you gotta assume it's going to get a 9. But this is the Topps Chrome X Fractor out of 220. As a PSA 10, this card is kind of name your own price, but I mean within reason, but it's extremely rare and of a Hall of Famer and a championship player, etc. And this got a PSA 9 as expected. So now I have the full run of the Pistons starting 5 in PSA 9s. So overall, not bad. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 PSA 10s. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 PSA 9s. I got 3 PSA 8s and 1 PSA 6. So I'll be auctioning off these ones, and I would expect that I'll probably get out of my grading fees. I'll probably get maybe somewhere close to 100 to 120 out of my 200, or I think it was actually closer to like 350 grading fee. But then having this as a PSA 10, and I'm actually going to pull up some comps real quick. So this Hyper recent comps are 200, 150, 110, 130, 150, 200. So in roughly the 130 to 150 range for that. This one I doubt I'll have a comp for. I'm not going to stress too much about that. Recent comps for this are in the 60 to 90 range. This I doubt there would be a comp for. Same with this. So this has a recent comp of 120, but obviously as a player matures and has a career that develops, that can be a lot higher. So two recent comps on this are 182 and 230. This one we already said was around 75. And this one doesn't transact all that often, but around 50 to 100. So overall, I mean, looking at an easy $600 to $1,000 worth of PSA 10s right over here. I'll make back about 100 to 150 of my grading fees right over here. And then I'll have some that I can sit on that maybe not are, maybe won't be high grade, but are ones that I want to keep in my collection right over here. Overall, that's a big win for me. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.